Every contract is different from the next, and what you're trying to achieve is always different. So provisions always vary from contract to contract, but the key provisions that I like to put in every contract all across the board, one is governing law. So if it's in California, I always put California, or I usually, even if it's in other states, I usually put California because we're familiar with the laws of this state, and we want to make sure that there is no surprise in what state ends up being the governing law. Venue, jurisdiction, make sure that if there's a litigation that comes out of this contract, you have control in terms of where that's going to happen, so you don't have to fly across the country just to litigate this case. The next thing is attorney's fees. You want to avoid any types of litigation for no reason and people bringing actions against you for no reason. So you put in there an attorney's fees clause where if someone does and they lose, or if they're clearly breaching it and you have to go and try and enforce it, you get your attorney's fees in return. A lot of contracts I like to put confidentiality, especially when the terms of the deal are sensitive. So I put in a confidentiality provision where the other person can't go and publicly talk about this contract and the terms, especially if it's a settlement agreement. Another really big one is indemnification. So you want to be able to protect your client from any potential, misrepresentations or fraud that was done by the other party in this contract. So if they misrepresented something, then you get indemnified by them, and if someone else comes and sues you as a result because of their fraudulent statement to you, you get indemnified. So that's usually very big, but you also want to, along with that, put in limits on liability. So people can't sue you for a contract that was worth $100,000 for $10 million. So you want to put those limits on liability and make sure that, you don't ever end up, especially if it's an asset purchase agreement or any kind of a sale, and you're the seller and you get only $100,000 or $50,000, but then they can sue you for up to $10 million. That's a big problem. So you want to limit it to the money that was involved.